I don't know why that just did that. I don't know why.
Like,
You know what I'm gonna
we
do?
got a countdown.
I
Oh,
don't know what it
hi. I was
was.
looking at my phone.
I
Hi,
know.
everybody.
I'm gonna just play this just because I feel like we can't start unless it plays. I truly have no idea. Hi, welcome to Coffee and Conversation. I'm Michelle Kitty. I'm here with Julie Roginski and Tara Setmayer. And it's Saturday. And per usual, everyone, there's never a dull moment. There's not even a dull Friday evening. Don't look away from your phone because you don't know what will happen.
I went out to dinner I'm not kidding you guys. I went out to dinner last night, no joke, from 6 to 8. And then I came home and at 8:30, my husband, as he always does, turned on like CNN or whatever. And I said, I can't. Like, I just can't. Please do anything other than CNN or cable news. And of course, he was like, no. So I said, fine, I'm going to bed. I did. And at 8:45, I literally closed my eyes and went to sleep. And then I woke up this morning super early because obviously I went to bed super early. And like everything exploded while I was asleep. You can't even go to sleep anymore.
Listen, we know what happens. I was on an airplane for like a couple hours and all hell broke loose. I'm like, this is crazy. This week has been nutso. Yesterday was a crazy Friday. I was guest hosting Mary Trump's show, and I was saying how like Fridays used to be like
Friday news dump, of course.
Right, Friday news dump when you didn't want anybody to pay attention. You released it on a Friday. We used to be able to go to brunch on Sundays, and like since the Trump era, all that shit is gone. Like Fridays are sometimes the craziest, busiest news days of the week. Like the regular anchors would take off on Fridays. Not anymore. Not anymore. All the anchors are there like a normal Monday or Tuesday news day. And yesterday was nuts. I think I did 5 media hits yesterday, 2 on MSNBC. I did Mary Trump's thing. I did Canadian freaking TV. I did British BBC stuff yesterday. It was nuts. Like I had to turn down a BBC radio interview today because I'm like, I need a minute. Oh, on the Trump BBC stuff.
That too.
I was supposed to talk on CNN yesterday about the Trump BBC stuff. And then everything went so this was like at 10 o'clock in the morning before everything really went off the rails. We never got to it.
Right. Because
there's so much else to talk about.
So much other shit going on. And I was like, okay, this is too much. This is too much happening. But like all the crazy stuff yesterday, then last night, right after so in between, so I'm doing Mary Trump's thing from 6, she goes like, I think 6 o'clock hour, right? I don't even know. It was 6 o'clock, right? And then my husband cooked dinner. So after that, I smelled the smell. He makes really good lamb chops. So I was like smelling the lamb chops being made as I was finishing Mary's show.
Elevating.
Oh my God. I was like, okay, good night. Thank you all. God bless. Good night. Happy Friday. Goodbye. So then we go up, we have dinner and cracked open a bottle of wine. And I was like, I can only have one glass because I have to go back on air at 8:45. Right. And so people know I was in Barcelona and Lisbon last weekend for Jamiroquai. Yay. And brought back this really fantastic port wine. And I'm not a big port person because I don't like
port's like kind of sweet, right?
There's one port wine that I like, and it's like I'm like you, Tara. I hate sweet wine, but there's one that's really good.
Is it the tawny or the ruby kind of port?
It's tawny and it's very dry.
Yes. Yep. So I learned. I didn't know that there were 2 different kinds of port wines because I never took an interest in port wine because I don't like sweet dessert wines, and so I was like, well, when you're in Lisbon, you got to learn about ports. So I was like, I'll give it a chance. So we were at one of these like local Portuguese restaurants, not a touristy place because we don't like to do that. And so we got to meet the owner and the cooks. My husband is like the mayor wherever he goes. So we have really funny pictures with them, and they bring out like the fish to you and you can pick out which fish you want. And so like we did that whole thing. Anyway, so he's like, you got to have some port wine. I'm like, we've only been here for a day and a half. And he's like, I'll bring you some. And then we learned about the tawny versus ruby. And I had no idea about how they age it in the barrels with this. And some is sweeter than others. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. So anyway, we ended up loving this 10-year tawny and brought back 2 bottles. And so I was
take it on the plane. I'm always afraid to take it on the plane. Does it like change the taste or anything?
No,
it doesn't do that.
Nope. And this time, like we got some at the duty free.
Okay.
Because it was the last night we were there, and they told us the kind that we had, we could get it's like a pretty famous vineyard or whatever they call them. So we were able to find them in the duty free because it's like the national.
Yeah.
So we were able to find that brand, and we were able to get 2 bottles. So they seal it up in the duty free thing. So
I see. So they put it in a thing so you can fly with it. Okay.
So I say all that to say, I was all excited to sit and sip a little port wine on a Friday after the busy week that both my husband and I had, because he was on assignment this week. And so nope, couldn't do it, because after the MSNBC hit, the freaking text messages with Stacey Plaskett and Epstein broke, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I got sucked into the CNN rabbit hole, Julie, with your husband, watching Abby Phillips' show at 10 o'clock because Miles Taylor was on.
I saw that.
And I mean, dragged him. I text Miles in the middle of the show and was like, God bless.
Yeah.
I said, thank you for taking it to that hypocritical smug.
And they always do that split screen with Scott where he's like going,
yeah.
Or he's looking into the camera and doing like an aside, like he's Zach on Saved by the Bell.
I won't watch that show anymore if he's on. I just won't do it.
Oh, it's usually awful. I don't either. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm like, I'm over it now. And I was like, but when I saw Miles was on, I know the last couple times they've been on together, I wanted to see how Miles was going to handle it. And he's one of the few people, which is interesting because I think you and I, Julie, kind of set the bar for this.
Right.
Going after Scott with his own words and like his own stuff and calling out the hypocrisy. Because I didn't notice anybody else really doing that until we started to do that.
They don't do it anymore, period. In fact, I think that Scott has cut a deal with bookers or whoever not to book anybody that goes after him.
I agree.
I'm sure Miles won't be asked on again.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'll be very curious to see if Miles Taylor and Scott are back on again, especially on a Friday night. Abby was not there. She's on a book tour. So it was Kate Baldwin. And to Kate's credit, she kind of like gets into it a little bit with them. But like, you know, she doesn't just sit there and let them go at it. She kind of like, she checked Scott a couple times last night about the Venezuela stuff. And it was like, are you making fun of Admiral Stavridis? Because he's the one who said that what's happening in the Caribbean with Venezuela, whatever. He's like, no, I'm not mocking him. But she's like, so I just want to be clear because it sounds like you are. I was like, oh, good. So Scott kind of got his ass handed to him a little bit last night. But Miles really dragged him because Miles, working in the administration with Trump, has the firsthand knowledge on this. So he's going to be like, Scott, you're not going to fucking tell me basically what I saw and what I did. Because Scott tried to come for him and say, well, I wasn't trying to subvert the president of the United States with my position inside the administration. And Miles was like, I'm glad I did. And I would do it again. I was trying to protect the American people.
Right.
Basically. And Scott was like, rah. Like it was. So anyway, so that kind of dragged me in.
And then I saw the exchange about being a conservative. And he was like, Donald Trump is not a conservative. Donald Trump has never been a conservative, and went through all the reasons.
And by the way, let me just say this, and this is a compliment to Miles Taylor. It is a compliment to Tara Setmayer also. When I do it with Scott, I'm a Democrat going after a Republican. But when you guys do it, when Miles put his entire career on the line, as did you, to go after Scott, it just demonstrates what a fucking disgusting, gross sellout hypocrite he is. Because he said the same thing you said, Tara, and that Miles Taylor said after January 6th, which was that he was done with Donald Trump. Donald Trump was unfit. Donald Trump was all the things, right? And to have you guys go after him, where you have consistently stayed true to your values. As you say, you are uncompromised, as is Miles Taylor. Compared to when I go after him, you expect me to go after him, right? That's my job. I've been doing it for 20, like that. You throw me a Republican, I'll go after him. But you guys make him look like the sellout piece of shit. Sorry, Scott. That
fraud.
That he is.
Yes. And he's a performative little bitch. And he's made lots of money off of it. It's been very lucrative for him. I always tell the story. I mean, he's so easy, like easy fodder, because he's that typical, empty suit that that tried to climb the ladder and was because he worked for Mitch McConnell and worked in the Bush administration in, as a mid-level staffer in the White House, that he thought, oh, he was that guy that would walk around in his fucking blue suit and brown shoes on Capitol Hill, and then got his little $35,000 contributorship at CNN.
Yeah.
After me, I'd already been there. And I will never forget him coming to me, asking me, was this a normal salary? And I was like, yes, to start. Yeah, it is. And he was like, oh. And then he was not the guy that he is now. He was actually a lot nicer, if I use that term loosely, but he was like, like your typical.
Yeah, I had
a agree to disagree, but not
on a personal level. You're so right, Tara. I had a great relationship with him last year, up until the moment Joe Biden lost. Because he was trying to see how the wind was going to blow. Suddenly, if Joe Biden lost, I don't think he would have been sticking around there much longer.
Wait, Joe Biden lost. Do you mean Donald Trump lost?
You mean if Donald Trump had lost?
No, I'm sorry. Yes, if Donald Trump had lost, he would.
Yeah.
He would not have been sticking around there much longer. He was very nice. He introduced me to his kids. I offered to give him Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
very nice.
He was not the obnoxious prick that he is now. There was a definitive moment when he made the decision, and that's when Trump won, and he's become an insufferable fucking prick. And I mean, I was thinking to myself, because he had his son with him, because I'm not fake, and we've talked about this before, and I don't want this to become a whole half an hour thing about Scott. I only brought that up because it drew me into watching CNN at 10 o'clock when I should have been sipping my port wine from Lisbon, but I ended up watching it and being glad that Miles handed his ass to him. But I was thinking to myself, if I ever saw Scott with his kids again, because he brought his son the last time I was on with him, and I'm not fake. So I'm not going to be, there are some people who are very even now, with as terrible as he has become on air and as hypocritical and insufferable and insulting as he has been and condescending, they're still kikiing in between commercial breaks and in the makeup room and in the green rooms. And after the show, after he just insulted people, went after them, then it's all it's like a game. No, I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I don't speak a word to him ever. When we I'll say, if he says hello to me in the makeup room, I'll be like, how you doing, Scott? And that's where it ends. I don't set small talk with him. I'm not joking with him in the commercial breaks after we just had an argument where he tried to insult my patriotism or call me whatever, and I just nailed him for being what he is. You think that in the commercial break, I'm like, so how was your kid's soccer game?
Well, does he try to be nice in the commercial break? Because I'll tell you something. The last few times that I was on with him, and let's be clear, I've now been banned from being on with him.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
He would not speak to me. In fact, I was, if you don't work at CNN, Tara knows this because you used to be a contributor, but if you're not a contributor at CNN, you don't have the key access to get into the studio. So I go up, this is typical Scott Jennings. I go up to the 19th floor, which is where you go to get hair and makeup. And there's a couch that he sits on, that he was sitting on, where you could look through the glass doors and see who's coming or not going, coming and going. I'm knocking on the door because I can't get in. He's ignoring me.
What?
That is get off so that
terrible.
What?
Oh, yes. Finally, some makeup person was walking by. I was like, oh, Julie's here. Let me let her in. He literally was looking at his phone, looked up and looked down, pretending to be Sarah, you know how it's impossible not to see somebody.
Yes, because it's a big glass.
It's a big glass. It's a huge glass. Yeah,
and there's nobody around. The new CNN studios, I hate them. I miss Columbus Circle, but the new it's so. It feels like, you ever see the movie, the show Severance? Do you guys watch Severance?
I don't watch it, but I know what you mean.
Oh my God, it's so good. Okay, it's so good. But anyway, it's in this creepy, all white, plain, anodyne, hallways. And that's how I feel every time. It's very creepy, but it's all bright and very feels like an operating room. And it's very that's how CNN's new studios are. So you cannot miss people.
They're almost I always think about in Handmaid's Tale when June goes to the gynecologist when she
it feels like
white
that.
And kind of scary.
Yes.
I don't like that aesthetic, and I don't know who.
I don't know.
It's the new
Yeah, it's creepy, but anyway, the point is,
he's moving there in a couple of years too, Tara, by the way.
Oh, that's awful. It's ugh. Anyway,
but anyway, the point about him is we don't have to belabor him because he's such an asshole. But the last thing I will say about him is that when Mark Thompson, the head of CNN, said about Scott Jennings a few months ago that he's like D'Artagnan, he's got 4 Democrats coming at him and he's able to like throw them all off one by one. No, Mr. Thompson. He's got 4 hand-picked Democrats who he has selected precisely because they say to him, "Oh, my friend Scott, I respectfully agree to disagree." He will not, whether Mark Thompson knows this or not, he will never agree to have Tara Setmayer on anymore. He will never agree to have me on with him anymore. And I can name 1 or 2 other women who asked me not to repeat their names to be on with him anymore. And what is completely insane to me is that nobody's picked up on this.
Yeah.
Nobody's picked up on this. And what's
also they have, and they've chosen for whatever reason.
Look, I mean, there are media reporters, some of which who work for CNN, some of whom just haven't picked up on it. But the reality is he's a little baby who will not have anybody on with him. And I will just finish this by saying that we could really move on, is that I had Scott's job at Fox. I was the heel, right? Scott's the heel. Scott's job is to be the heel.
Yeah.
I was the heel. Never in my worst nightmare would I have gone to Roger Ailes or to any of his deputies and said, "Hey, Roger, Kimberly Guilfoyle is being really mean to me. So can you maybe not have her on the 5 with me anymore?" Like, your job is to be able to.
He chose that role. He's getting paid very handsomely to be Donald Trump's bitch on CNN. And so he has the nerve then to complain when he's called out on it. Like,
but it's always women, Tara. It's always women, because I can name 2 other women.
Yes.
He won't be on with anymore.
Yeah. Well, I'll be curious about Miles, because you could tell Scott has some tells in his body language when you've gotten under his skin. And so Miles dinged him at least twice last night where he was visibly pissed off. And so I think that, I've seen that in real life. I've seen that body language of that face.
With me, the last time I was on, he literally turned to Abby, and I can't remember if it was on air or during commercial break. And it might have even been on air. I don't know. People can go back and look. He's like, "You see, this is what she did. Oh, they always do. You never stand up for me. This is what they do to me." Because it was the day after you did it, Tara, right? You did it, and then I did it the day after. This is what they do to me. They always do this to me. Like running to mommy to have mommy take care of him. And apparently mommy did, because Tara's not there with him anymore. I'm not there with him anymore. And neither are these 2 women who I can name, one of whom during commercial break, when she very gently, not the way Tara and I did it, called him out on a fact that he got wrong. And I'll say that politely. He turned to her during a commercial break, and this is a woman we all know quite well. And he turned to her during commercial break and said, "I don't even know you. I don't even know who you are. Why are you going after me like this? Let me tell you something about this particular woman. He knows exactly who she is. She's a much bigger celebrity than he will ever be."
God,
she has not been back on that show since.
I can't. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, but the moves are beginning to be made for CNN to get bought by. Scott's gonna have a primetime show when this is all done, by the way. Yeah, either that or I guess he's under contract with CNN. I don't know how long his contract is. I was like, either that or he's gonna go get snatched up over at CBS with.
It doesn't matter. It's the same company. He could probably do.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Paramount owns them. Yeah. Well, anyway, so during that time, so that was 10 o'clock last night while Julie was snoozing. I finally had to turn it off because I said I can't anymore. And I started to watch the morning show because I was 2 episodes behind. And Michelle, I know you watched that. And I was like, oh my God, are you caught up on the morning show?
I am.
Don't tell me.
Do you watch the morning show, Julie?
Yes, but I'm in season 1.
Oh,
okay. I know. I'm sorry, guys. This is like basically being like, "Don't tell me how Gone with the Wind ends."
No.
8 years watch, so I get.
I will not spoil it for you because it's such an excellent show.
Well, let me ask you this, Tara, about morning show. Do you feel? I think that this season rivals the first.
I agree.
I think it's so good.
I agree,
and I think that the episode, I'm not gonna say what, about parents.
Yes.
I was like, oh, there's their Emmys. There are their Emmys.
Oh my God. I was thinking
I just
the
got chills
same
just, like, thinking
thing.
about it.
I was going, it was only because it was late last night. I was gonna be like, are you caught up on the morning show? Because I had the exact same thought when I was
like,
watching it last
that's
night.
gonna be the Emmy submission episodes.
It better be. It better be. There's so many layers. And what makes the morning show so good, besides the like pretty accurate depiction of the dynamics in that environment, just the acting, the writing, the depth of the characters and their relationships, and you see the fallibility of them
and the complexity, you know.
It's really so good. And that episode was really good.
Billy Crudup, I know, like, in his personal life, I know has not always been the most exemplary husband, father at all.
Well,
as many people are not. However, as an actor, Billy Crudup is one of my favorites because he is phenomenal.
He's fantastic. And I didn't realize the diversity of his acting chops until the morning show. And I was like, and same thing with Jennifer Aniston. This is the role of her career.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the role of her career. Absolutely. And I don't know, did you see the Vanity Fair? They did a cover on her a couple of months
I didn't
ago. Yeah, right. It was in the September issue, right before morning show debuted the new season. And she's just I really like her a lot. And I'm really happy for her for this level of success.
And I don't know who, listen, everybody on TV wears wigs. That's just how it is. And whatever's going on with her hair is looking amazing this season.
I know.
I don't know if it's fake. It's probably fake. It's got to be a wig.
But you know how I know?
It's got to be a wig. I'm moving my computer because
That's okay. You know how I know it's a wig? Because when you have your natural hair, right? What you go like this. So like, even when you're talking, like you'll go like this.
Yeah.
If it's a wig, it's parted like this, especially with the lace front, right? And you'll notice they'll stop here. They'll stop like this. They never go like that.
Oh, like this?
Yes. That's how you know it's a wig. Because it's just not natural.
Even with the lace front. And it looks like it's growing out of the head. It's very good.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, you wouldn't, unless you know like what you're looking for, you wouldn't really know. And as someone that's in the industry like you were, Michelle, and I used to wear, I never wore wigs, but I would wear weaves in my hair back in the day. I haven't for many years. But back in the day, because when you're on air all the time, hair and makeup, it's brutal on your hair. So being in the CNN studios every day or 5 out of 7 days a week with the, hair in the hot tools and stuff, you go bald. So I would wear a weave in my hair.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. And so for years I did that. Just easier. And then, but now since COVID, I stopped doing that because I'm not in the studio every day and I don't have to sit there with the hot tools all the time. And so but I color my hair. Obviously, I have my roots. I need to get my hair colored soon. But, and it's funny because the trolls, the MAGA trolls, they hate the fact that I'm blonde.
Oh, they
always try to say I'm wearing
emails. I see them in our inbox and I'm like,
it's hysterical. It's hysterical. I'm like, my mom is blonde, so fuck you guys. But anyway, so I pay attention. Like for years, Julie, does Kimberly Guilfoyle wear a wig or is that her hair?
No, it's not her hair. She and I used to go.
I didn't think so.
She and I used to go to the same extension place.
Okay, because I used to be like, what is happening here?
No. She has. I can go into my new. I mean, I haven't spoken to her in years, but I can go into my new detail what her hair used to be like. She's got in real life really thin and not great hair. But in fairness to Kimberly Guilfoyle, like to me and to you, Tara.
Yeah.
Especially if you worked at Fox, which really was into helmet hair. My hair was destroyed after Fox. My eyelashes were destroyed after Fox.
Yeah.
Fox wouldn't do the strips.
Oh my God, they do the individuals?
Fox, which look great, but then when you're in the shower trying to get them out,
you're like,
And I used to have the best eyelashes and they've never grown back. And I have literally bald patches of eyelashes.
People don't know. I mean, how could they, right? But it's like people don't know about TV and like all of that is that the wear that it puts on your skin and your hair and everything else like that. And it's just it's the teasing, it's the pulling, it's the coloring.
Talk about this. Where is it? Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All gone.
And you have great hair, Julie. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you've got.
This is yesterday from. Oh, this is all fake. What are you talking about? I mean, this. There's a couple of extensions in here.
Oh well, that's all right.
Look at this. That's totally from Fox. Not it's not even Fox. It's just from years and years.
Yeah, of like teasing,
and
they're hot tools
and hot tools, and not just Fox. Like you're right. Like
yeah.
Always.
So the thing is, like in theater, like there weren't like so many shows that I had to wear wigs in, but like I was always really grateful when I did though, because you just put your hair in the pin curls, put the wig cap on, and then it was just wigs, and you never had to worry about your hair. You never had to put heat on it. It was just like it was great.
I never wore wigs. I just couldn't get
into do wigs.
I felt like it was too high maintenance. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I tried. Like one of my hairstylists in DC, she actually moved to Atlanta, which is another reason why I stopped putting, because I kind of want to, as protective, they call them protective styles, just to protect my hair and let it kind of give it a break a little bit.
Yeah.
But I can't trust everybody. Not everybody is the same when it comes to weaves and wigs and all that stuff and color. That's why I drive 5 hours to New Jersey to get my hair colored, because I don't trust people down here.
And I don't mean this to be mean to a lot of white women like hairstylists and stuff, but a lot of white women hairstylists, like they're just not as good at like handling
ethnic
hair and like
right. Because I'm biracial, so I don't have like the thick kind of kinky hair.
Right.
So most of my hairstylists would be Latina, because my hair is naturally curly. And so like my hair isn't, it's fine. Like when you put heat to it, it's as straight as Julie and yours. You know what I'm saying?
Hair, Tara, you look great with curly hair. Why wouldn't
you? Thank you.
Try it. No.
Listen, I used to wear my hair curly on air in 2016.
I gotta find pictures.
You go back and watch CNN. I would go on air, which was a big thing for me, to wear my hair naturally curly. As a matter of fact, one of the most famous appearances on TV for me on Don Lemon's show, the night that the Access Hollywood tape broke.
Oh my God.
My hair is curly in that. And it's because I had my hair in a weave for a year. So you take it out, not for a year straight, every couple months, but like consistently for a year. So my hair was really long. It was nice and curly, all my curls, because it wasn't touched with heat and all the tools.
Right.
So my husband and my mom loves my hair curly. So does everybody loves my hair curly.
Isn't it always funny? And I used to be like, wear it like that. And you're like, no, I don't want to. I don't like it.
Because I look 12. I was like, I look 12.
Why do I look like
that's a positive these days, my friend.
Well, now that I'm 50, I'm like, you know what? Maybe looking 25 isn't so bad.
Yeah.
Right.
But back then, so in 2016, I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll wear my hair curly. And I started to do that. And so I actually, if my hair was that length again and that healthy again, I would wear it curly more often. It's so unruly now because of the color and because I haven't been able to weave it up. Like part of the thing, I'm like trying to find someone, because I'm itching to put a weave back in my hair to let my hair grow back.
Stop. I will call you.
Okay.
I will call you. I'm going to go see a woman today. My hair is going to look very different by the time I'm done today.
I'm
because I can't live with this bald shit going on anymore.
Yeah.
So I am going to see what I can do here, and I will stay tuned.
Yeah. I just wanted to. So I would wear, and I've started to, like you'll see me occasionally if I just want to give my hair a break, because it's not like I've gotten over, I wear weights too. Love this conversation. Yeah. Like this is real life. Like as women, this is what we go through.
And we're not going to gatekeep, you guys. I hate people who are like, this is what my hair. Okay. First of all, let me be clear. I want to see you today. I fell asleep at 8:30. I was planning on washing my face and taking my makeup off and taking a shower. I did not. So I took a shower this morning, but I did not do my hair.
Well, you're getting your hair done later.
My hair done, so I didn't really care about washing it. So let me just say this. This is
better dirty if you're getting it colored. This
is not real in the sense that there are a couple of weaves and like pieces in here.
But they're clip-ins though, right?
No.
Are they clip-ins or are they sewn in?
They're sewn in.
They're sewn in. Those are even better.
Yeah, they're bad for your hair, but nevertheless, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, better than the heat wefts though.
Oh, the wefts things are not good. Yeah. So, so I hate gatekeeping. I hate women who are like, oh no, no, I can't. Michelle's the curling iron expert. I couldn't do this to my hair if somebody gave me $1 million. I mean, now it doesn't look so good, but to do
There's no shame in that.
well,
People
I don't
do
like
crazy
women who are like,
goodness.
no, this is my gorgeous, like bullshit. This is all fake. Like, let's
Yeah,
be
I mean,
real.
some people listen. Mallory Hagan, our Seneca press secretary, has naturally beautiful, ridiculous long locks. Also from her pregnancy, it helped with her hair. It was like, whoo! Like, but
she's got like gorgeous princess hair,
unbelievable, gorgeous natural hair. I mean, so there are some, but most of the time, folks who are watching, you see somebody on TV
with great hair.
If you see that they have like beautiful long hair, there are either clip-ins or something to help that. And there's nothing wrong with it. No shade.
Because even if they had great hair before, if they work in TV, they will not have hair for long.
No, that's right. You have to protect it.
So like Mallory has beautiful hair because Mallory doesn't go and have somebody
that is correct.
Right.
That is correct.
So we move on to MPG because I think we've
yes.
We've 30 secrets about our hair.
Speaking of people who aren't real.
Well, first of all, before we get to MTG, I just want to talk. So these Epstein emails, right? There's so much in them. And if anybody wants to like get into the nitty gritty here, there's two things. I think Courier News, I think it's Courier, has created a database that you can go through and search, make them all searchable, which I think is really great, really helpful, especially for people who are reporters and want to write about it. Second of all, Eliza Orleans is going to do like a deeper dive. She is a career prosecutor in Manhattan. She's great. She's a Syracuse grad we love. So go follow her, and she's going to be doing some updates here too.
She's really good.
Can I just pause for a second? My husband seems to be going somewhere.
Oh, bye.
Where are you going?
Well, it's funny. So like I can hang out until 11, but you guys know that the Saturdays, especially now this time of year, is my fall festival, craft festival time.
I was gonna say antiquing.
There are two things happening. Wow. There are two things happening. So there is a craft fair down the street at the local Catholic church that we've been waiting for a couple of weeks. It's an annual holiday fair, and there's a particular vendor that does these crocheted holiday things that I am like dying to go buy. And so my mom and I, of course, we are going to go to the craft fair. And then there is a chocolate and coffee festival happening down the street at the expo center. I know, at the expo center. Right. Everybody knows I love coffee, and my husband loves chocolate. He doesn't love coffee, and I don't love chocolate. But we are getting married with the two today
together.
There's a coffee and chocolate festival happening.
Really good. I love both, so that's good to know.
I know. It's like
I'm a professional antique shopper, okay? Thrift store, antique craft person shopper. When I was in Barcelona, we found an antique shop, and I came back and brought that green sweater that I had, the mohair sweater I had on Wednesday. I got at the antique shop in Barcelona for $12.
Wow.
Nice.
Yes. So it's an obsession. There could be other problems that I could have that I could spend money on, but being a thrifter, antiquer, crafter person,
listen, it keeps you sane in these crazy times because like we need outlets because again, on a Friday night when we want to be sipping our port wine or planning on, ooh, that's really pretty.
I love elephants. I got this for $7 at an antique shop.
Yeah.
Well, like that's the thing too. It's like, again, first of all, it's good for the planet to be antiquing, but also again, taking steam or like blowing off steam rather, because everything is so effing crazy.
It's true.
But the thing about these emails, I want to say is like the more salacious part of this, which it is salacious, but also if you think about it, big picture,
Lisa Hopo is asking if this is a bong. No, it's not a bong. It is Murano glass. This is solid. It's solid glass. It's a solid glass.
It's really pretty.
That is exactly what Murano glass looks like. Really good.
It's like really heavy. So just wanted to be clear.
With a B.
It's not a bong.
A Murano.
Oh, no. Bong.
They probably have Murano bongs by now.
I'm sure they do, but that's not me. I don't do that. No shade to people who do, but not me. Just wanted to be clear before that went off in the comments. Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
No. So here is one of the emails that really has piqued a lot of people's interest, and the chat has been popping since we got on with people talking about this. I just do want to address this. So Jeffrey Epstein asked his brother Mark Epstein whether Vladimir Putin has photos of Trump blowing Bubba, quote unquote, which is Bill Clinton's nickname. Okay. So it says here, I can't read the bottom because I've got this scroll going, but ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. And then Jeffrey Epstein says, and I thought, no, I don't know Yiddish. I don't know how to say that word. TSURIS.
Tourist. So tourist for tourist means like
Yiddish for troubles, right?
Like troubles, anguish, aggravation, like
yeah.
Angst.
Yeah.
Angst. The best way to describe tourist.
Oh, so that's the Yiddish word for agita.
Agita. Yeah. It's a Yiddish word for agita. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it meant either.
Yeah. So Mark Epstein's brother is Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark, asks if Putin has these photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Okay. And then Jeffrey Epstein says, and I thought I had, agita basically.
Yeah.
And then Mark Epstein writes back and says, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard.
I don't know about Get Hard. Does anybody know what Get Hard is about?
But that's a movie. That's actually, I think it's a play on words because Get Hard is a movie about, it's Kevin Hart and what's his name? Will Ferrell. And it's about like somebody going to prison, and Will Ferrell needs to find somebody to help him get hard to be prepared for prison. It's a comedy.
Gross.
It's a comedy, but it was a terrible movie, by the way. I like both of them. They're both respectively funny on their own, but that movie was awful. It was not a good time. Speaking of Will Ferrell, I have my anchor man up there sitting there, my Ron Burgundy, that actually talks and says Ron Burgundy phrases that my husband bought for Christmas.
I love that. That's awesome.
It's hysterical. But anyway, so
so that's listen.
That's so I don't know what to make of it.
I do.
Oh, I do. Go ahead.
Oh,
I think it's absolutely true. I think that they were probably doing.
You think he was blowing Bill Clinton?
I think that it was part. I mean, listen, this is going to be This is going to be gross, and I'm sorry. There is no doubt in my mind that they were probably at some party or something like that. Now, I'm just speculating. So before somebody goes in the comment, don't make stuff up. I'm not making stuff up. This is I'm speculating based on the kinds of parties that these people have or had, like the level of depravity and grossness and of Bill Clinton and Donald Trump being in some sort of group effort to do something. I'm just saying, like, it could have happened. I'm not saying it did, but listen to this. Remember back during the election or the election, I think this was last fall, wasn't it? I think it was. I have no concept of time anymore, but.
And his man was strong and tough. And I refuse to say it, but when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there, they said, oh my God. That's unbelievable. I had to say it.
Did you?
We have women that are highly sophisticated here, but they used to look at Arnold as a bad, but he was really.
So there he is talking about Arnold Palmer's penis. And then. So, I had to go. I'm just saying. I also like Marlon Brando, like used to have sex with that. You don't know, it's like, I'm just saying, like in these situations, I just don't think I'm not putting it past anyone.
No, I agree with you on the freaky deaky weird shit that goes on in those circles. We've all had some adjacent experiences with people in Hollywood or like parties or stuff like that.
Not saying theater school, y'all. Like,
yeah, like listen, there's a lot of weird shit that goes on. However, I think I don't see Trump actually engaging in the act, given what we know that he's a germaphobe and how I don't see him going that far. Now I can see them playing around because remember, or like imitating it. Like, remember the Rudy Giuliani in drag? And wasn't Trump like motorboating him when he was in drag? We see these guys do that. That's like that frat boy finance shit where they joke around.
They do it just so they can touch each other, though.
Yeah, they like to do weird shit, but I don't know if he actually went so far as like doing the deed. But I could see weird shit happening. Now, I could also see that because Trump also doesn't drink. A lot of times this happens.
But I think there's
neither does Clinton.
He doesn't drink at all?
No, Clinton
never.
Nope.
Okay. Well,
because the stepfather is an alcoholic, and
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Nope.
So like I kind of like
What about pills though? I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I think that there's a double entendre thing happening. If he's even referring to Bill Clinton here in the Bubba comment, I don't know. There's some question if it's him.
I mean, Jeffrey Epstein had that huge portrait in it hanging in his mansion of Bill Clinton in the blue dress in the chair.
Right.
I think that like this was like part of just everything.
And they were friends, like we know that.
Well, let me tell you something. If one of my friends had a portrait of me doing something, depicting something that was a deeply awful, embarrassing moment in my life, I would wonder what the hell I was about. Now, I don't necessarily think Bill Clinton is embarrassed about Monica Lewinsky. I think he probably had his friends behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, he's embarrassed he got caught.
Yeah, but I'll say this about Donald Trump, which I firmly have always believed, having been in his presence several times. And I will preface by saying that I infamously, as all my gay friends would attest, have the worst gaydar on earth. The worst. The worst. Like if Liberace showed up at my house, I would have been like, he seems flamboyant. But I would not. I'm so bad at it. So I'm going to I have to be honest. I'm prefacing what I'm about to say with that. I have always suspected that Donald Trump, because I have been around gay politicians before, and I've been around one particular gay politician 20, 30 years ago. You guys could figure out who it is. He went out of his way to go to strip clubs, to hook up with women, to be talking about how women's appearance. I mean, like literally hiring prostitutes, all of it.
Overcompensating,
and then eventually came out as gay. I have always suspected, not about Bill Clinton. I've been around Bill Clinton probably more than I've been around any other president.
Bill Clinton's not gay.
Bill Clinton's 100% not gay.
No.
But I've always suspected that Donald Trump had that in him. That Donald Trump secretly, I think I might have said this to you guys before.
Well, Roy Cohn was his mentor, and Roy Cohn was a notorious gay mafia lawyer.
Yeah, but I mean,
they would say, but Roy's not gay though. He's not gay. He just has sex with men. He's not gay though. And like that's what they say. I'm serious. Roger Cohen said it.
I mean, Michael Cohen?
Or no, who am I saying? Roger Stone?
What am I
saying?
Roger Stone.
Oh Jesus, yes. I'm like
another freako whack weirdo.
What I'm saying. Roger Stone would be like, Roger Stone would be like, no, Roy wasn't gay. He just like had sex with men and like that was it.
Wow.
I've known Roger Stone a long time.
You have?
Oh yes.
Oh, from Fox.
Oh no. Not from Fox.
Just kidding. What?
Oh yeah. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in many years. He's not happy with me.
Well, I mean, in politics in New York and New Jersey.
By the way, Roger Stone was involved in everything, you guys. Roger Stone is an equal opportunity political animal. He does not care about, he does not care. I mean, the Nixon tattoo on his back, that's all for show. Roger Stone couldn't care less about where your political affiliation is. He's a
weirdo. I mean, I don't know him like that, but I had the displeasure of being on set with him a time or two on CNN when they used to let him come on CNN. And being there on the 5th floor of the old CNN offices, waiting to go on air and being like so skeeved out by this guy. He's such a skeeve.
He looks like he smells like old man cologne.
No, listen,
he doesn't, but he's a skeeve,
he looks like he does.
He's got like the nails and the weird, like I can't, he's a ugh.
Well, listen. Well, sorry, go ahead.
Well, so the point, I guess what I'm saying is, have you ever seen any, like, I'm married to a really straight, like, I think we have to really go into this. I think everybody's on some sort of continuum, right?
I agree.
Everybody in the world is on some sort of continuum.
The Kinsey scale, people fall on.
And there are people who are at the very extremes of those two continuums, and there are people who are closer to the middle of those two continuums. And that's okay. I mean, that's great.
That's fluid. It's just right.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is what it is.
Animal kingdom is.
But I think we are all on some sort of continuum. My husband is on a one of the extreme. Like my husband's quite straight, and he's, which is okay. Like that's fine. But what I'm saying is, my husband never. I mean, I kind of joke that like I have this crush on John Hamm, right? My husband will be like, oh,
that's a very easy thing to do.
And my husband will be like, I'm like, look at him. My husband will be like, oh, it's a good looking guy. but he's not going to be like, oh my God, that guy's a good looking guy. That's what Trump does.
Yes, and then starts talking about their penises.
That's what Trump does. And I gotta be honest,
it's weird.
But
it's MAGA. Isn't that like a super MAGA thing though? Like they're all very obsessed with like physiques, and like Andrew Tate is always talking about like other men's bodies and like the testicle tanning, and like it's very like homoerotic, a lot of it. So do you guys know? Well, first of all, let me play this. This was yesterday at the White House. I don't know if they put in a sound system on the outside of the White House. So they were.
I also heard about this from someone I know who was on White House grounds a couple days this week, who also saw Scott Jennings coming out of the White House, by the way, earlier this week.
Of course.
I know. I was like, of course. But anyway.
Well, this is what they were playing to apparently soothe the baby as he's going through troubled times.
I can't wait for the South Park version of this. It's Phantom.
That is Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom. He loves
show tunes.
This is what I'm saying.
He starts weeping at Cats. The only thing he says he ever cries about is fucking Memory from Cats. The worst play on the face of music on the face.
So bad.
It's so bad. That's a great song.
And he loves YMCA. He loves the Village People. Like what
is literally
more
the
do
song.
we need to tell you? I love the Village People too, but come on.
Didn't we have a talk about this one other time? Right? We talked about this the other time, that he's very like, and all the Liberace-ness of the Oval Office, and like like all of that gaudy shit and show tunes and YMCA and all. I mean, it's starting to
YMCA, the Village People. Now there's a whole drama about the Village People and its current iteration. The Village People it's a shell of what it once was.
Right.
Like
so
Randy,
it's not the same people.
It's not the same
cop, the only original.
No, it's not. The Randy Jones, who used to be the cowboy, lovely gay man. Right. He used to come to a bunch of my shows when I used to perform with Lala Brooks back in the day, and he would tell stories about Village People and stuff like that. So, but they all talk about, they're like, that's not us anymore. It's been taken over by this other thing. And so, but all of these anthems, they were like gay anthems during a time when it was like, you know, society was shaming gay people for like living out in the open, and people had to live in, you know, in fear. And
hooking up at the YMCA.
Right.
It's about hooking up at the gym.
Yeah, like, it is. Stay at the YMCA. Why are you staying at the YMCA? Because men could stay there together. And and nobody would think twice about why young men were staying at the YMCA. It was a place to stay, right? Come on, we all grew up.
You can get a good meal. You can do whatever you feel.
Whatever you could do, whatever you feel like. And Donald Trump knows that, because that song came out right when he was a young man himself.
Yes,
young man. All of my gay friends, all of my gay friends, including some who are now. I had a friend who passed away.
Oh my God! Somebody said Donica Lewinsky.
Yeah. Who passed away a couple years ago, who was in his 80s, who was gay. And he was one of the early people in politics prominently out. Back when it was, and he resigned. He had a break. He worked in the White House. He resigned with Bill Clinton because they had a falling out over gay marriage. Like, he's great guy, wonderful guy. He sadly has now passed away. If you spoke to him about what it was like living in New York in the 1970s, he would tell you, of course, the YMCA down on 14th is where they would all go.
Yeah. I mean, it's well known.
It's well known. And
we're not like speaking out of turn here. Like, this was like part of the culture.
And Trump would have known this.
Of course. He was a Studio 54 guy.
There you go. He hung out at Studio 54. Give me a break.
Yes, exactly. During a time when like that. And also, and he talks openly, because again, Donald Trump always tells on himself, right? He talks about the fear that he had in the 80s of not getting STDs. And what he means is like not getting HIV during a time that it was very prevalent, and like, and during a time.
Talking to Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn died of AIDS. And when Roy Cohn got AIDS, that's when he was like, he cut him off.
Yes. And basically wouldn't help him, like kicked it. So there, you know, I play these clips from Caleb Huron. I think I'm saying his last name right. Sometimes he's one of my favorite comedians. He has a podcast. He's Southern. I'm obsessed with him. And he was on Ziwa's podcast. If you know Ziwa, she was the woman who just recently interviewed Eric Adams. Very funny, but talks about how he thinks Donald Trump is like an old school gay. And I'm gonna just play this.
Is one of the people I've ever seen.
Elaborate.
Donald Trump is
I've seen
old
this
school
guy.
gay because gay guys used to be mean before media training.
And they're nice now.
Gay guys are nice now. I mean, look at me. I do believe that bi people exist. I have grown a little weary of hearing from them. What would I say to Ben Shapiro? A lot of people are short, unattractive, and annoying. You talk about one of the f***iest people to ever walk this earth. You're gonna have trouble getting this episode monetized on YouTube.
Oh, honey, I'm gonna bleep the out of what you're saying.
You're gonna bleep every one of those?
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I'm an artist. I'm a perfect sweetheart. I've been nothing but kind on the show. Donald Trump is old school gay where he should have been like a red carpet fashion advisor or something.
Got it.
He should have been standing on the side and being like, that dress, honey, I don't think so. That would have been amazing. I would have watched every night. Instead, he ran for office on a platform of mass deportation.
Got
So
it.
that's where things got tricky, obviously. But I do think he's very gay.
I didn't know that existed. I have always said this. I don't think I don't know that he acts on it anymore. I don't know. I think he's on a continuum, as I said. And I think he's much closer to the middle of that continuum. Do I think?
Oh my God. This never crossed my mind like real. I mean, it's kind of like joking about it, but Jesus, I can't get this out of my mind.
Then Julie, there's been, another prominent conservative in media. I remember you and I were in a conversation with someone who was talking about their theories about other people who have had sexual harassment claims against them as well. And like, I thought that, I'm saying that like the overcompensation is always
That's
tricky.
what I'm saying. I think that it's the overcompensation. He overcompensates.
Yeah.
No,
that's usually the tell.
Like straight guys, I know if they're going to engage in shitty behavior, like harassing women, or they're going to engage in shitty behavior, like cheating on their wives or whatever, they just do it. They don't talk about it. They don't go overboard being like, she's hot. Look at her tits.
Right.
By the way, the whole look at her tits thing is a total gay guy tell, I think, because that's something that only women have. And so therefore they compensate by
it always makes me think of like the 40-year-old virgin when they're like sitting around the card table and he's like, yeah, the boob, it feels like a bag of sand.
Right.
I'm like, what?
They're like, what?
Yeah.
No, it's, I don't know. This is just so.
The whole thing is crazy.
Oh my God. We are in the weirdest timeline ever.
The weirdest timeline. And that's why and hold on, here's this. I grabbed this off of just FYI, this House and Habit account. I was like,
that's the picture?
Yeah, he had that in his house, in his mansion in New York.
Okay, I can't. I'm about to go put Sambuca in this.
That was hanging in Jeffrey Epstein's house. Now, mind you, that was a painting. And there's a whole story about this, that like some young artist made this and she had no idea what happened to the painting. And then years later it shows up and like, it's a whole thing. And there was this like young immigrant who posed for the painting and the whole thing. Anyways. But this exists and it was hanging in Jeffrey Epstein's mansion.
And again, I have to say, with respect to Bill Clinton, which is also super weird, if I don't know, Tara, let's say something really high profile, embarrassing, terrible happened to you and you and I are friends. I would not put the thing that makes it really
right.
the very thing that makes it so awful about you. It wasn't just, you guys, it wasn't just in his house, like tucked away.
It was like in when you walked in or something, right?
When you walked in.
Hanging in the foyer of Jeffrey Epstein's $56 million townhouse, greeting every guest who entered.
I don't think Clinton cared. I agree. I don't think Clinton cared at all. I think Clinton probably high-fived Jeffrey Epstein, was like, yeah, I got some of that.
Like, yeah.
Like, 23 years old. Look at me. But
this is weird. This is so
weird,
crazy.
you guys.
So weird.
It's weird and it's weird.
So weird.
And also just so people know, like that account that I pulled up from that was like a wellness turned MAGA influencer that I found on Instagram. So like they're all going crazy about Clinton, just so people know, like on the right, they're all going, oh, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton. But what they're not understanding is that people who are on the opposition or on the left if like it's very clear that Bill Clinton is part of this, and you know what, lock his ass up too. Like anybody who had anything to do with this, lock their ass up. And that's kind of where the Marjorie Taylor Greene part is coming into this too, because so Donald Trump was attacking her last night.
Oh yeah, that was the other part that we forgot that happened last night.
Right. If you want to
broke while I was on air, actually, I had to respond in real time.
So oh God, I'm trying to pull this up right now. Hold on. So he was basically like Donald Trump, because she's one of the ones who's been holding the line here. And he was like, I'm withdrawing support. Hold on, where is this? Here it is. This is very long. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm withdrawing support of endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene in the great state of Georgia over the past 2 weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete. He goes on and on. I mean, then he says, wacky Marjorie. All she does is complain, complain, complain. It seemed to begin when I sent her a poll stating, here it is. And this confirms the AOC thing that, and we kind of already knew anyways, that he sent her a poll that she's saying she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12% and did not have a chance unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. And then he goes into this whole thing. So
He's
then
not wrong about that, by the way.
No, but then she responds basically and is like, he's lying. I have not been calling him. In fact, here are the text messages that have been exchanged between us. Okay, so there's this whole back and forth. And then she wakes up this morning and she post this. Good morning. I want to thank everyone who texted and posted and commented in support for me last night. You're all so kind. I never thought that fighting to release the Epstein files, defending women who were victims of rape, and fighting to expose the web of rich, powerful elites that could have caused this. But here we are. It truly speaks for itself. Now, there needs to be a new way forward. She goes on and on, of course, coming back to her roots of America first, America only, blah, 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 blah. Now, in the last hour since we've been on,
oh my God, it's still going?
Oh, there's more?
Oh, yes.
My money is on Marjorie Taylor Greene in this fight, by the way.
I think she's got more power in the situation personally, but that's
I do too.
This was an hour ago. Marjorie Traitor Greene is a disgrace to our great Republican Party.
Oh my God. Oh, this is gonna be,
guys, here's where Trump is the stupidest man alive.
Stupid. He's insulting so many of his base.
But here's where he's even dumber than people recognize. So until yesterday, he'd had a really, really, really good grasp on his base.
Yep.
And he understood where they were coming from. However, by calling on Pam Bondi to release the stuff on Clinton and Larry Summers and JP Morgan and everybody else, and Pam Bondi stupidly 4 hours later, you got it, sir. I just appointed somebody to go through all this material.
Right.
Same material she told us in July did not exist.
Didn't exist. And Cash Patel, the same.
Yes.
The same.
So now, if you suddenly it exists, if you are a MAGA cult member, even you have to be like, wait a second. So it did exist. And now if it's going after Clinton, it's never going to be enough. Let's say they release a videotape of Bill Clinton doing something, right? It's not going to be enough. MAGA's not going to be like, oh, okay, well, that's why Trump was keeping us all quiet. He wanted to protect Bill Clinton. Does anybody really, even they don't believe that.
Well, there's
the other part of this too. The other part of this too, Julie, that's nonsensical, right? Is the whole thing that if it was a Democratic hoax, then why are you investigating it?
Yeah.
Right. What is there to investigate if there was a hoax?
And why are you pulling Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room?
Right.
This is such like a
hoax thing. Who are you?
There's more. There's more from an hour ago.
Oh my God. This is all like while we've been on air.
Yeah. Lightweight Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Brown. Green grass turns brown when it begins to rot. Betrayed the entire Republican Party when she turned left. Performed poorly at the pathetic View and became a rhino that we all know she always was. Just another fake politician. No different than Rand Paul Jr., Thomas Massey, who got caught being full-fledged Republican in name only. Rhino. Make America great again.
Can I just say something here?
Can I get a glass of port from you, Tara, so I can swirl it while I'm reading this? Go ahead.
I know, right? I mean, I'm about to go tell my husband to go bring me a shot of Sambuca to put in the coffee. This is the undoing. That's what Donald Trump and MAGA. Like, I've been saying this for a couple of days. I would argue, Julie, that Trump has lost the plot with his base about a week ago.
Yep.
When he started saying, I don't want to hear anything about affordability, like that interview with Laura Ingraham was a tell that he doesn't give a fuck about his base.
And the H-1B visas.
We already knew this.
And the H-1 visas, Tara, also.
And the H-1B visas, right, about how we don't have talent here. So we've got to bring in some of them. And the whole thing about the Chinese, and we need them for this or that. Now, it is true that we do need to bring in people with specialized skills in tech or scientists or whatever. That used to be part of bringing that in and, mixing that into the American academia and all that. But he is exposing himself for the transactional hypocrite that he actually is. I mean, half of his wives weren't American. Like, what are you doing?
2/3.
Right? It's like, what? Half of his staff at all of his golf resorts in Mar-a-Lago are not American workers. He got caught employing illegal immigrants and undocumented. Like, he's been a hypocrite on the immigration issue forever. We all know that he just used it because he played into what the MAGA base wanted and the xenophobia of that. Right. And now that he doesn't have to, quote, face the voters again, he's fully exposed. He's exposed. And to tell the MAGA people, like, you idiots, I don't want to hear about affordability. I'm telling you, as your cult leader, that what you see and what you feel in your own pockets and households isn't true, because you're an asshole and I'm the one that's.
And all the tech guys, like the Elon Musks and stuff, they want those H-1B visas.
Of course, they need them.
Right.
You need them. Right. And it's like, so now for the last 10 days, since they got their asses handed to them at the election last week, and the whole thing about affordability and the economy and people feeling it and losing their SNAP benefits in the rural hospitals, what have we been saying for months? That Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about you, MAGA. He has betrayed you and has been betraying you because he doesn't give a fuck about you.
Correct.
He doesn't care. And now he's exposing it by going after Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is the MAGA base personified.
Yes.
And calling her a traitor. Hello, Democrats. Democrats, I'm talking to you guys. This is your campaign slogans, ads, points of all kinds of messaging through all of the fucking 2026 campaign. Marjorie Taylor Greene telling the people in the swing districts, look what he did to his own.
Yeah, exactly. And look at this too. He wrote this last night. It says 10 minutes, but this is a screenshot from last night.
I saw this one.
And just for so people know, Thomas Massey's wife died last year. His wife died suddenly. Thomas Massey's only, despite looking older, he's only 53 years old. He's got 4 children and his wife died last year. Okay. So Donald Trump says, did Thomas Massey, sometimes referred to as Rand Paul Jr., because of the fact that he always votes against Republican Party, get married already? Boy, that was quick. No wonder the polls have him at less than 8% chance of winning the election. Anyway, have a great life, Thomas, and ? His wife will soon find out that she's stuck with a loser.
I'm assuming he's talking about his new wife. Did he get remarried?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is such a fucking despicable, terrible person. And I will say this because I do have to drop.
Yeah.
I love Josh Johnson. If you guys watch him, he's a comedian. He fills in on the Daily Show oftentimes. He is hysterical. He just did a whole thing, guest hosting the Daily Show this week.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He's like, if a pedophile is saying you're horrible,
you're
pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Right? If Jeffrey Epstein is like, this is the worst guy ever.
Yes. Not a decent felon.
Jeffrey Epstein seemed pretty aware of his own shortcomings.
Correct.
So, but
literally and figuratively, yes.
At which point is MAGA going to wake up? Because this is what Donald Trump said
in July.
In July. This is what he said about his own people in July when he's talking about the Democrats. I'm quoting here, they're being Democrats. New scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax, and my past supporters have brought into this bullshit hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. The whole thing was a hoax. Not just his involvement in this, but the whole thing was a hoax. Suddenly, it's not a hoax because suddenly Bill Clinton's involved, and Larry Summers is involved, and JP Morgan is involved. JP Morgan is involved, and Reid Hoffman is involved.
Bank and Reid Hoffman and and why do you send 1,000? Why do you assign 1,000 FBI agents to go through files and evidence for a hoax? Like it doesn't make sense, and people are starting to wake up, and I cannot believe that this is going to be the issue that does it. Not all the other stuff,
but his emails.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So this has been quite the wild ride. And I think that, by the way, there was, I don't know if it's the AP poll, but the polling has been terrible for Trump. And the fact that, and this has been very underreported this week because of all the other stuff, 68% approval with the Republicans. That is the lowest approval rating for Donald Trump that I've seen ever, I think. Ever. Only 68%. He used to be in the 90s consistently with Republicans. This week, 68% approval from Republicans.
That's like January 6th. That's like,
right. That is a 5-alarm fire, which is why he's acting so crazy, because he's starting to feel the, this is the first time he's ever really lost his grip potentially on the MAGA base. He can't control it. And when you start, this goes back to that story I told about Claudia Conway, who I've told before, when he said, we all knew how he felt about his own people from day one. We all knew it. That's why we're like, you idiots. He fucking hates you people. But they're chumps. Look at these chumps supporting me back in 2015. Look at these chumps.
And he will only ever be nice to people or his base as long as they support him. And this should, again, prove the point that the second that you say anything critical or you even ask a question, he will turn on you so quickly. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're the base, if you're Mike Pence. And that's the other part of this. And Tara, maybe we can talk about this later.
Yeah.
If I were a PAC, or if I was a Democrat running for office or something, first thing I'd be doing is going after JD Vance right now. And I would be holding his feet to the fire and being like, what do you have to say about this? What do you have to say about this? Because he's going to turn around soon and go, oh, I didn't know. No, put that mofo on the record.
Now.
Listen, they have the video of him on the podcasts with Benny Johnson or whoever else going on and on about release the Epstein files and all this and that. So JD Vance has been awfully fucking quiet. Okay, Mr. Vance, who used to dress in drag and had a best friend who was a transvestite in college, right? Who, like, what do you have to say about all this, buddy? You've been real quiet.
That's right.
I mean, at Seneca, we have ideas to do other things. I don't know about the Vance. We have to think about that. We have to think about that because
somebody should do it.
Somebody needs to do it. We're going to do something with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I mean, this is just the beginning. Holy shit. And we didn't even get a chance to talk about it for people, because I'm going to hop. You guys can keep talking if you want, but I got to go. But as chocolate and coffee await, and the craft fairs await. But this story about what happened in the Virgin Islands, okay, the Stacey Plaskett story, where she's actually texting with Jeffrey Epstein in real time during the 2019 congressional testimony with Michael Cohen. Literally texting in real time with Jeffrey Epstein. I was like, oh my gosh. My friend used to work for her for many years, and we all loved Stacey Plaskett because she was a killer, kick ass during the inauguration. I mean, the impeachment hearings, and she's been a bulldog, man. And then I'm very disappointed to see how close of a relationship she actually had with Jeffrey Epstein. She took money from him, and it took me down a rabbit hole because JoJo, shout out to Jo, she's in New York with her kids today, having a blast. I love that. Joe was like, have you seen this? So Julie K. Brown is the person to follow. Julie K. Brown, who worked for the Miami Herald, who did an unbelievable expose on Epstein and all this shit back in 2018, 2019, her and Vicky Ward. Okay. She wrote a long form story about basically Jeffrey Epstein buying the entire Virgin Islands government. This guy had the entire fucking Virgin Islands government under his control because he bought them all off for years. And they all knew what was going on, from the governor all the way down to the airport workers where he would fly his jet in. He paid them all off. including the fucking former governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, his wife, they call her the first lady. The former first lady of the Virgin Islands was Jeffrey Epstein's executive assistant running his whole operation in the Virgin Islands, claiming she didn't know. She didn't really know. She asked him about his sex conviction in 2008, and he said he made a mistake. He didn't know she was underage, and he took him at his word. Oh yeah, you know why? Because he was paying her $200,000 a year to work for him. He was paying for their kids to go to private school and their tuition, and giving money to her husband's campaign and everybody else on the Economic Council. He was getting tax breaks, $300 million in tax breaks, because he moved his citizenship to his residency to the Virgin Islands. He was paying off everybody. And unfortunately, Stacey Plaskett worked for a law firm who represented fucking Epstein when she was an up and comer as a young lawyer, and he gave her money.
Compromised.
Back initially. Okay.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
A lot.
Here's the difference between us and the cult. We don't care that Stacey Plaskett was a great prosecutor of Donald Trump. We don't care that she's one of us.
Yeah. This is career ending. This is career ending.
The attitude is Jeffrey Epstein was an adjudicated sexual miscreant criminal.
Yep.
You're still talking to him, Larry Summers, former Treasury Secretary of the United States under Bill Clinton. If you're still speaking to him, President of Norway and head of the Nobel Committee, in 20,
you're still texting with him in real time. To get information to question a witness in 20.
Yeah, I have the video. Tara, I know you got to go, but I have the video here.
You can play it. You can play it.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Why is it not going on to the next thing? Hold on. Here we go.
This was when Barack Obama was president of the United States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you?
Sorry, that's me screen recording.
Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record? Yes or no?
Yes.
Question: you helped out the president's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate? Yes or no?
This is Jeffrey Epstein texting in real time.
Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump Organization?
They are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr.
There it
Trump's
is.
executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his.
And then he writes her good work at 11:34.
A lot that went on.
Plaskett and her staff declined to answer questions about the text messages after the story published Friday evening. Plaskett's office issued a statement, quote, during the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received texts from staff, constituents, and public at large offering advice, support, and in some cases, partisan vitriol, including from Epstein. Basically lumping him in with constituents.
Right. But like I said, I suggest people go back and read Julie K. Brown's story. I read it this morning. It's long, but the facts in that story, because it was written a couple years ago. Reading it now, knowing what we know now, it is horrifying. There's two other factoids in that, and then I'm going to jump. One, because I posted it this morning before we came on because of Megyn Kelly and her atrocious comments this week, trying to, rationalize he was like kind of pedophile light, which is insane coming from anyone, especially someone who's a woman and has
a mother who has a daughter that age.
Okay? Like, are you fucking kidding me? She tried to say that, oh, well, he didn't like younger ones that were like 8 or 9 or 10 or anybody under 11. He liked the barely legal types. What? Like, fuck you. So disgusting. In that story that Julie K. Brown wrote for the Herald that I'm referencing a couple years ago, there's a section in it, and I screenshot it and posted it on my Twitter and said, Megyn Kelly, go fuck yourself. They are talking about how he brought in girls that were as young as 11 and 12 into the Virgin Islands. 11 and 12. So fuck you, Megyn Kelly, trying to justify, oh, well, they were like 16 or 15, but not, no, okay? None of that is okay. And people, well, they knew it. And everybody in the Virgin Islands knew it. Everyone. And they were all bought off by Jeffrey Epstein for years to keep quiet. All of them. All of them in positions of power, from the FBI down there, Customs and Border Patrol, the Airport Authority, the governors, the Economic Council, all of them, including the University of Virgin Islands had a made-up program to get student visas to bring these girls in from other countries through a fake program so they could get visas to come to his island and be trafficked and raped and abused, okay? And they were all in on this, including the former first lady of the Virgin Islands, whose last name is Cecile de Jong or something like that, who helped facilitate this. And Stacey Plaskett knew about it. There's no way she didn't. So I'm sorry, but she should step aside based on this information and what's been exposed. Because I don't know how you rationalize this after everything you knew. You can't say you didn't know. You fucking knew.
Yep.
So on that note, I'm going to go and rebalance my equilibrium because this is a lot for a damn Saturday morning.
Go calm your nervous system with some chocolate and coffee
to match with the port wine later, and go get my little crocheted holiday things at the craft fair.
Enjoy. Bye, Tara.
And listen to Jamara
Tara.
while I do it.
Bye, Tara.
Bye, Tara.
Bye, guys. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Bye.
Good Lord.
Bye.
I can barely breathe at this point. My cold's gotten so bad.
Oh,
so
gosh.
I'm going to be quiet.
Well, I on that note too, I just want to show some more. I mean, this is where's
that from? Steve
This
Bannon.
is from this is Steve Bannon offered Trump's MAGA as shield for Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, all of this stuff is in the emails too. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, provided strategic financial and media support to Bannon. He offered advice on campaign materials, political networks, and even contacts with European leaders. In return, Bannon proposed to Epstein the creation of a right-wing MAGA coalition capable of staving off the global Me Too movement for more than a decade. One message from Bannon sketches out the political alliance he believed could dominate the decade ahead. Populist nationalists first, conservative Christians, Catholic, evangelical next, reverse Alabama. This coalition staves off time's up for the decade plus.
Okay. As one of the women who kicked off the Me Too movement that they were trying to, that they were desperately trying to stave off. When we kicked that movement off before Harvey Weinstein came out, never, ever did we, in our worst nightmare, imagine that our opponents would be trying to kill it to protect pedophiles.
Yeah.
We had tremendous forces arrayed against us, but those opponents were trying to, in our mind, stave it off to prevent accountability in the workplace. To think that the president's top advisor at the time was deliberating with a convicted sex criminal pedophile about how to rehabilitate him from pedophilia.
Yeah.
And to kill the Me Too movement because they thought that movement would come for pedophiles.
Yep. So they wanted to get ahead of it.
It's quite something that I have to say, in my worst nightmare back in 2017, when this all happened, 2016, 2017. And again, before Harvey Weinstein, never, ever, ever did we think that that's what this was going to be about.
No. And, you know, this is what we say, right? A lack of imagination. And this is also where I say that I think when we get to the end of the road here, whatever this is, I think that this is going to shock even the most cynical and imaginative among us. I think that it is going to be farther and wider and more global and connected to every industry, every walk of life. I think it's going to be everywhere. And the irony here is that this is the main artery of QAnon. This is what started that conspiracy theory that there was this global cabal of pedophiles in powerful places. And they were right. They were right. They just, were kind of like misguided, obviously, and crazy, but the root of it, I mean, there's reality here. And so this last slide.
Keep talking. I'm going to let my dog in, but go ahead. Keep talking, sir.
Well, Bannon had previously positioned Epstein as part of anti-Trump narratives. The emails show Epstein functioning as a political fixer. He helped arrange access to global leaders and drafted contact lists. The emails reveal how political strategy, financial influence, and personal networks were woven together in shaping the MAGA movement. And that is how, one of the reasons how, and then you connect it to all the Russian stuff. Because, Julie talked about this the other day, that Jeffrey Epstein, as powerful as he was, and with the compromise and blackmail that he had on the most powerful people in the world, he was scared of Donald Trump. And so what did he have to do? Where is this dot that's not being connected by the media quite yet, apparently, that he needed to get that compromise on Donald Trump to someone or some place that could leverage it in a way that he couldn't. And it certainly sounds like that was the Russian government. That was the Kremlin.
It's not that it sounds like. He legitimately wrote an email to the president of Norway, the former head of the Nobel Committee,
right,
saying, put me in touch with Sergei Lavrov if you want insight on Trump. Sergei Lavrov is a Russian foreign minister, clearly one step removed from Vladimir Putin, but then said that he used to give all that information. Vitaly Churkin, who was the Russian ambassador to the United States, but unfortunately, not his words, not mine, unfortunately, Churkin died. So now he was looking for somebody within the Russian government who was new to give it to them. And Churkin died in February of 2017, quite unexpectedly, which means that into Trump's first inaugural, Jeffrey Epstein was giving the Russians all this compromise on Trump. That's all in the emails. And again, why is this not on the front page of New York Times?
In addition to,
I am the only person who's talking about this. Like, Michelle, it's crazy because he has somehow persuaded the entire press corps that Russia really was a hoax. It was not a hoax for reasons that I can, that Olga Lautman and I have written 16 chapters on, chapter 17 coming on Monday. But also was not a hoax because it's in Jeffrey Epstein's own emails. He was giving stuff to Churkin on Trump. And after Churkin died, he was looking to give it to Lavrov. And the answer from the president and former president of Norway was not, hey, Jeffrey, why don't you take a seat, you convicted pedophile.
Yeah.
The answer was, I am meeting with his assistant next week, and I will pass it along. We don't know what came of that, but we do know, per Epstein's own emails, that he had already given what he had to Churkin and was prepared to give more additional same information to the foreign minister of the Russian Federation. This is nuts. This would be like some Russian convicted pedophile calling Marco Rubio, somebody close to Rubio, and saying, hey, I want to give Rubio dirt on Putin.
Yeah. And this goes beyond just like a bad business deal or money wiring fraud. Like this is so bad. Again, so bad, so deep, so wide. Like this net is the net that this is casting over everyone and everything. Like this is when you have a Democratic congresswoman from the Virgin Islands, you have a former president, you have Bill Gates, you have,
Larry Summers, the former president of Harvard. And what I can't wrap my mind around Larry Summers is that he's asking for dating advice from a fucking convicted pedophile. He was president of a university that had 18-year-old girls attending, and I'm sure some of them were 17 and underage when they began as well.
Yep.
He was the caregiver. He wasn't the caregiver. They were all adults for the most part, but he was the caretaker for really young adults. They were adults, most of them, but they were young. And some of them got there again when they were 17, 16. There are kids who end up at Harvard who are even younger than 18, who are underage. And this is who the president of that university was. It's not on Harvard. I'm not suggesting this is Harvard's fault in any way. I'm just suggesting, like, if you have been around young people your whole life, what are you doing hanging out with a pedophile?
Well, it's funny is Larry Summers is actually portrayed in the movie The Social Network, when the Winklevoss twins go in and complain about Mark Zuckerberg. Larry Summers is the president of Harvard at that time. And there's a whole scene. And it's like, I was reminded of that this morning. It's like, it's so entangled in literally everything. And I am the furthest thing from naive. I am the furthest thing from not having an imagination about any of this stuff. You know, Julie, you and I've lived in New York City for decades. I was part of show business. Like I've heard, we've seen all the things, right? And politics. I mean, please. And yet I feel like after this week and even after this, you know, the more gory details of all of this, I feel like I'm now looking at the world in a different way than I was last week.
You know, I think what it shows is all of these things that for years were like, nobody's this evil. It turned out actually
a whole lot of people were.
A whole lot of people were.
And a lot of people knowing that, seeing it up close, taking money from those people to look the other way and to benefit themselves.
And it was all over the world. For people who are like, it's embarrassing to be an American.
No.
What did I just say? The president of Norway, the guy who was in charge of giving out Nobel Prizes.
Yep.
He was talking to everybody all over the world.
Yep. All over the world. And
another thing that you said, Michelle, actually, which I wanted to just jump in and say is that Steve Bannon, who used to work at Goldman Sachs, was ostensibly asking Jeffrey Epstein for financial advice. Give me a break. Jeffrey Epstein was not some financial genius. He was a blackmailer.
Right.
That's how he got rich.
That's where the money came from. That's literally all of it. All of it. He wasn't, and like, again, Vicky Ward's reporting, you go back to, you know, all the money management that Jeffrey Epstein was doing. He wasn't managing anything. His name was not on any notes. His name was not on any trades, nothing. There was no anything.
Like the best thing in the world that I heard is that Leon Black, who literally founded Apollo Global Management, like the largest, I mean, a billionaire. Apollo is one of the biggest, I think it's either a private equity fund or a hedge fund. I forgot what it is, but basically they're the biggest fund in the world. One of the biggest funds in the world. Suddenly was like, oh, I was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein because he was giving me financial advice. What are you talking about? You're running Apollo Global. Steve Bannon. Oh,
Epstein doesn't know shit about shit.
He was helping you with financial advice. You worked at Goldman Sachs. Give me a break.
Right. Like people, right.
Like you don't know other people. If you can't do it yourself, you don't know other people that could help you.
Yeah, it's not exactly like easy to get a job at Goldman. And once you get there, it's not exactly an easy job. Like people who work there, like however anybody feels about Goldman is like, it's a hard place to work. People know what they're doing.
It would be like me hiring a Russian high school teacher to be like, I needed her help translating something for me from Russian to English. I speak the goddamn language natively. Like, I don't need your help. And I guarantee you that Leon Black at Apollo did not need some former math teacher at Dalton's help.
Yeah.
Rich. And neither did Lex Wexner, who created L Brands out of nothing.
Right. I mean, think about this. The guy who owned Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
Part of all of it. I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, and then I think about the trickle down into just culture and who is in charge of culture, who controls the narratives of the cultures that we live in. And why is it that young women and women in general are preyed upon? And why don't women come forward? And why don't women report when they're been assaulted? And all of Hollywood. I mean, and here's the other thing. Everybody seemed to like know about Harvey Weinstein. People that we like and respect in Hollywood everybody knew, but nobody said anything. And here we are on like the grander, most global scale of this in the darkest, most sinister, disgusting way possible. Like it's to use a Matthew Dowd line, he used to talk about this a lot on TV about black mold.
Yep.
And how you can't just eradicate black mold. You have to cut it out. And it is going to take the whole world in order to cut out the black mold of this.
And I'm sorry, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Deepak Chopra.
Oh my God. When I saw Deepak in that, I was like, are you kidding me?
Catherine Rumler, who was Obama's White House counsel. I mean,
When I saw Deepak in there, I was like, you have got to be kidding me. I used to use his meditation app.
That's what I'm saying. A guy who's allegedly supposed to be helping you with your mental health.
Mindfulness. Like, I'm never going to be able to ever think about that again.
And that's just the stuff that we know about. That's just the stuff that we know about. Kathy Rubler. I mean, come on, you're a woman.
Yeah. And I just want to say too, just like in the chat, because there's been a lot of I haven't really been looking at all of it. Yeah. I'm gonna be blocking people in here. So here's my question too, and just I guess this relates to this conversation. If people can message or put in the comments like after the fact, so I can read them. If you know anything about being moderators as part of like the community of people, because I see them on Don Lemon's thing and Mary Trump, I just don't personally know. I can assign people who come to our show often to be moderators in our chat, and I don't necessarily know how to do that. So if you want to do that, if you want to be one of those people, please like reach out in the comments later and tell me, because I'll figure out how to do that, because there's been some really terrible people in our chat today. One of which had a swastika in his profile photo. So I just want to, it was pretty awful, racist stuff. But anyways, I just want to, as an aside in these kinds of conversations, I certainly don't want someone coming up in our chat and saying really harmful things. So, but yeah, definitely like put it in the comments later so that I can see them. So yeah, I mean, Julie, this is just, I think we're only at the tiniest tip of the iceberg with all of this. I think that it's worse than any of us can possibly imagine. I really, 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 really do. And just so anybody is wondering what the mental state of Donald Trump is throughout all of this, he was on Air Force One last night. I don't know what order these are in, but he was asked a bunch of questions. He was asked about Epstein. He told the reporter to be quiet. He was asked about the MRI that he had. He said it was routine and then didn't seem to recall what he even had the MRI on. So I'm just going to play these.
If we denuclearize.
Mr. President, could you tell us why you needed to get an MRI? I understand that the results were good, but what was it for?
Because it's part of my physical. Getting an MRI is very standard. Well, you think I shouldn't have it? Other people get it.
Typically, an MRI
I had an MRI. Here's what the story is. I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor. That's it. But I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year, and the result was outstanding.
Was it your brain?
Did you know? I have no idea what they analyzed, but whatever they analyzed it well, and they said that I had as good a result as they've ever seen. Now, the other thing I took, as you know, very advanced test on mental acuity, because I think a president should have to do that. And as you probably heard, I aced it. I got a perfect score. I got the highest score. I got a perfect score. And the only reason I tell you that is it's one subject, unlike Biden and others, that you can take off your plane.
The question on nuclear testing, just being very specific.
So there's that, and then.
Why were you, or why was your team encouraging Congresswoman Boebert and Congresswoman Mays to not pursue this?
Because we think it's bad to talk about it, because it gets away from the subject of how well the Republicans are doing. We have the greatest economy. We have the largest investment ever made in our country's history. We have all of these great things happen. We have very little inflation, whereas he had record-setting, the biggest inflation in history. All of these things are good. And when you talk about the Epstein hoax, what happens is you're not talking about how well we've done. Mr. President, and that's the whole purpose behind them.
Can you just pause for a second? Because I want to talk about two things. One is my mother is the exact same age as Donald Trump. I can promise you an MRI is not routine. It is not, because I go with her to doctor's appointments. An MRI get tested for if you think you might have dementia or Alzheimer's. So, which Donald Trump has in his family. So I just want to be very, very clear. They don't give you an MRI unless there are markers that your doctor determines that would lead them to believe that you have Alzheimer's or dementia. I know that firsthand. That's one. Two, You do not meet with Lauren Boebert in the White House Situation Room, the most secure location on earth. That is the room from which Barack Obama and his team watched the Navy SEALs descend on Osama bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad, in Pakistan. That is the room from which John F. Kennedy led the Cuban Missile Crisis. That is the room from which George W. Bush watched the capture of Saddam Hussein. That is not the room from which one would normally talk to a low-level member of Congress about not a routine legislative matter maybe, but about a legislative matter that has nothing to do with national security. Unless it does have to do with national security, unless somebody has been compromised. But they're not going to tell Lauren Boebert that because she's a wackadoodle and they don't trust her. So why would they meet with her in the Situation Room? My theory is that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi, who were meeting with her, were already in the Situation Room talking about what it is they do know about this. And that they invited her over to the White House and said, just bring her into the Situation Room. Stupidly not thinking about what that would look like. But it's also fascinating to me that they would meet with anybody in the safest SCIF, which is a secure location in the world, and not in the SCIF that they have at the Justice Department, which is also incredibly secure. Why did they feel the need to take this outside the Justice Department and meet in the Situation Room? Again, if you're trying to impress her by saying this is really serious, come to the White House, could have met with her in the Oval Office if that's where the president wanted to meet with her. He was not there, apparently. There's a million places to meet with her in the White House. It does not need to be the Situation Room. That is a place that is monitored consistently by intelligence officials. That is a place where you can communicate with foreign heads of state in a secure manner, with the Pentagon, with generals fighting wars overseas. I mean, that is a place that is deeply, deeply, deeply secure.
Yes.
You do not bring a woman who's best known for some weird shit at a Denver theater watching Beetlejuice with her team. Like, no. And you're not going to give her anything that would require giving her national secrets because she's a wackadoodle and you don't trust her.
She doesn't have clearance. Not that they care about that, but it's
clearance in the sense that she's a member of Congress. She doesn't have the kind of clearance that an intelligence. Yeah, she doesn't have like the highest.
Exactly.
So they're not giving her anything. They read her the Riot Act and they said, don't do this. And she was like, I'm going to do it anyway. And she did.
Well, right. Because it was reported, right, that they were doing the whole carrot stick, good cop, bad cop thing with her that made her even go, they're covering something up. This is not right. And I'm not moving on this. And I mean, good for her for knowing that. And again, like Kyle Clark, the local news anchor in Colorado, who's normally very, very critical of her, said, listen, we have to, when people do the right thing on their side, we have to say thank you. And he did. And I hope that encourages her and others to continue to do the right thing, because you will be acknowledged for that, at least on our side. And, it just seems so obvious. And again, in this whole mess of news yesterday, Julie, it also came out that the deputy FBI director, Bing Bong, never passed a background check. They never did a background check on him. And that's whole part of this. So for them to even bring someone into the Situation Room to display any sort of care about security means that they didn't want anyone to find out that information, because everything else they're doing over text message or signal message, or they're not doing background checks on people. All it would take is a foreign government like China or Russia or any of these other, places to put a bug on any of these people who know anything. I guarantee, Julie, probably more than anybody, certainly more than me, that these other governments know exactly what's going on because they have been able to gather intelligence on these people, because they're all got big mouths and they don't care. And they're so deeply unqualified and unserious to be holding any of the positions that they're holding with the information that they have. And, here is the last clip from the plane. I think this might be the one where he tells the reporter to be quiet.
Now to remark.
Oh, here it is.
President Trump.
With Bill Clinton, with the president of Harvard, who who that is, Summers, Larry Summers, whatever his name is, and all of the other people that he spent time with. Jeffrey Epstein and I had a very bad relationship for many years. But he also saw strength because I was president. So he dictated a couple of memos to himself. Give me a break. You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan Chase.
Sir,
Yeah,
if
Jennifer,
there's
go ahead. Go ahead.
incriminating in the file,
Venezuela,
why
sir.
not why acting as a
Quiet, McGee.
There it is. He goes, quiet, quiet.
Okay. Here's the thing. We don't know what's in there. The Russians know what's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the Israelis and the Brits know what's in there because they've got.
For sure.
So foreign governments, whether they are allies or they're adversaries, know what's in there. And the reason we know that they know is because Jeffrey Epstein apparently tried to tell everybody on earth everything he had on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
The stupidest thing Trump ever did was steal that stupid Maison de l'Amitié from him back in 2004. And if Jeffrey Epstein, from the very limited information that we have, was trying to pass this stuff along to Lavrov after already passing it along to Churkin,
Mm-hmm.
he had friends all over the world.
The world.
And what's interesting is the president of Norway, the former president of Norway, Jagland, I think is his name, was not like, oh, what is it? Interesting. I want to know. Because he probably also knew. And if something as, frankly, irrelevant from a geopolitical standpoint for intelligence purposes as Norway is aware, then you could bet your ass that much better intelligence services are aware.
Yep.
And our president, I keep saying this, and then we can go, our president is compromised. I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Our president is compromised. Maison de l'Amitié, John Donahue, was the name of the estate that Jeffrey Epstein really wanted to buy in Palm Beach in 2004. It was going to auction in a bankruptcy. And Trump stole it from under Epstein, which is what led to a huge falling out between Trump and Epstein. And Trump then later flipped that house to a Putin-related oligarch not long after that for more than twice what he paid for it.
And didn't he also to local authorities because he was trying to get them off of his back? He was like,
that's my theory. My theory, look, there was the way Epstein initially got busted for all of this in that Alex Acosta whitewash was a 14-year-old's mother went to the Palm Beach police and said, my daughter was sexually assaulted. She was forced to give a massage at Jeffrey Epstein's house. And the police opened the investigation, and then the feds Bigfooted them, and that's when Alex Costa came in and gave him the scoop. I believe that the police found something that was not just about Epstein. I believe they probably went to Trump, who was deeply involved, because this happened. That Maison de l'Amitié thing happened in November.
Mm-hmm.
Epstein got busted, I believe, in March or April. I mean, it was within
soon after
months. And by busted, I mean that maybe she went to them earlier, but the police and everybody got engaged in February or March or April. And Epstein, what probably happened was they probably went to Trump and to others in Palm Beach and said, what do you know about this? You are also named. And Trump said, I'll tell you everything. Just leave me out of this. And Acosta made the decision to just go after Epstein on a very small technicality, just to do with the oldest victim they could find effectively. So that he could give him that sweetheart deal. But I've always wondered why, of all the people and, of all the gin joints in all the world, Alex Acosta is up in the cabinet with Trump.
Exactly. And I, again, the Miami Herald has been at the forefront of this reporting since day one.
Julie K. Brown is
amazing. Julie K. Brown. I mean, I remember there was one of a MAGA rally early on, 9-10 years ago. And I remember somebody in the crowd had that picture of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump together and held it up in the crowd. And Donald Trump's face went white. And I remember hearing about that. And I was like, well, what's this about? And then that's when I started digging into this stuff and seeing Miami Herald. I was like, well, why isn't this a bigger story? And there is listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Neither one of us are here, but I don't think that there's any way in hell Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in a monitored cell. I just am not believing it. I do not, I 100% do not believe it anymore. And and I think the other part of this too is that you're dealing with someone as unhinged as Donald Trump. Yes, he's scary. Yes, he's powerful. He's the most powerful man in the world, I guess you could say at this point. But he has no self-control. He's unhinged. He's mentally unwell. He's clearly physically unwell. And the last thing I want to play here is Hunter Biden did a podcast again the other day talking about how obsessed Donald Trump is even with Joe Biden still. And even in that thing, he can't let anything go. He's always telling on himself. And it's just another example of like how mentally unhinged and how obsessed with retribution that he is. Even among all of this horrible stuff, the whole world collapsing around him, he still manages to fit Joe Biden into a conversation.
I've had to keep my mouth shut for the past few years, partially because of the prosecution against me and the ability for the U.S. federal government to use my words against me because they're going to have me in front of a judge or be able to twist them in whatever way that would result in seriously negative consequences for me. But the idea that anything that I'm saying now is going to make me more of a target than I already am to Donald Trump, to MAGA. Look, man, and here's the other thing. Just as a son, as a man, this motherfucker, the way that he talks about my dad, fuck him. And again, sorry for my language.
It's okay.
But he is obsessed. And I tell you the reason why he's obsessed. Because unlike anyone else, my dad kicked his ass like a rented mule and beat him by 7.5 million votes, got more votes than anyone that has ever run for president of the United States of America, and 81 million votes, at higher participation rate than anyone that has ever run for president since 1901. That's why he hates my dad, because he beat him. So he has to literally.
And I don't care what people say about Hunter Biden. I enjoy him, and I would be honored if we could have him on when we start our podcast. I just want to say that.
I agree. We will have him on. We'll get him. All right, Michelle, it's been 2 hours almost.
It has been, but you know what? Good convo.
Good convo. I got to go take some aspirin or something.
Well, feel better, my friend. Feel better.
Thank you. You guys, to everybody who joined us yesterday with Jeff Jarvis, we are so grateful to you. We had such a good time. Yeah, we're going to do it again on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, unless something changes, because he was fantastic. So we want to actually continue to have him on as often as he wants to be on with us. We will see you, Michelle and I, on Monday at 10 a.m. I'm hoping I can breathe by then.
Yeah, hopefully there won't be any too crazy news over the weekend that you'll have to see. If you see us, just know crazy shit went down.
Yeah. Can you hear how congested I am?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry. Oh, I feel fine. It's really congested.
I mean, it's not like when you do that, I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. Right. But everybody else, like, thank you. I noticed even more, there were more trolls. I guess the bigger that this account is getting, and we're slowly but surely building our subscribers, which thank you all so much for being here and sharing and liking and subscribing, which I hope you all will do again. I am going to go through and figure out how to do this. So if I recognize you from the chat, I may just assign you the little moderator thing, and we can figure this out together and try to get the trolls out of here, because ain't nobody got a time for that. It's one thing to disagree; it's another to like bring a swastika to a chat. We're not going to do that. So anyways, guys, Julie, you feel better. Everyone else, take care of yourself. Go outside, do something fun for yourself. Take your mind off of all the craziness. And otherwise, we'll see you online.
Or just take a nap, and then, like me, you'll wake up and be like, "What the hell?"
Right.
So maybe don't go to sleep.
Texting like, Julie, are you seeing this? Julie, are
no, I didn't respond. I was dead asleep. So yeah. Apparently, sleep is for the idiots among us, because you could go to sleep and miss everything, which is what I did last night. Okay, everybody, see you later. Thank you so much, and we will see you Monday, if not sooner.
Hopefully not sooner, but Monday. Bye.